Happy Thursday. Welcome to Feeling Things. How do we do this, Kat? Because we haven't done Couch Talks.
Welcome to Couch Talks, the special bonus episode of Feeling Things.
Yes. Welcome. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Couch Talks, the bonus episode of the Feeling Things podcast. I'm Amy.
And I'm Kat.
Boom.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is the episode where we go into our Feeling Things podcast email, which you can email us. The address is heythere@feelingthingspodcast.com. And you can send us your thoughts, questions, things, whatever. And we're going to bring it up at Couch Talks. And I have a really good email from a listener. And here's where we're going to need y'all's advice on maybe how to handle this. If you are okay with us saying your name, how about when you sign the email next to your name, say, I'm cool with you saying my name. Or you can say, can you keep this anonymous? Because my friends listen and I don't want them to know that I just ask y'all for advice on how to deal with them. Something like that.
And if you want us to not share some of the details, you can put in there, like, don't share this part.
Right. But it might be helpful for us to know that part, which that's a lot of work on y'all's end, but it's just helpful so that way we're not having to type back and forth for y'all. Because that's what I would do on 4 Things when people would email. I would send them an email hoping they would reply within the next 5 minutes because I really wanted to record. And then I maybe wouldn't hear from them for 2 days. And then it was this whole thing. So we'll just go ahead and lay that out there if y'all could just let us know in advance. So in this case, this listener did not know that, so we will not say her name. But if you know her, these are very personal details. You'll probably figure it out anyway. And we can say where she's from, right? She's listening in Maryland.
Sure.
And it's a she. She identifies as a she, I think. Hi, Amy and Kat. Congrats on the new journey. Look forward to the new podcast format, and I'm excited that Kat has become your full-time host. This question probably leans a little bit more towards Kat, but I think you will have some good insight as well, Amy. My life has been a crazy journey the past 13 months, with the most significant part being that I was diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer this past September 4th. That's a whole story in itself, but my treatment is going very well and I plan to be around for a long time. The reason for my email is that I will be moving to Tennessee this summer and I'm finally ready to jump back into the dating game. I've been on a dating hiatus for about 9 months. I was wondering at what point should I tell guys I have breast cancer? I'm going to insert, this isn't the email here, it's me. Some people listening right now are like, oh, I don't know how I'll really relate to this. But I think it's based on what Kat's answer is going to be because she's the therapist. I mean, I'll have input because I've dated and there's certain things that I knew I wanted to put in my profile because I just wanted that to be known because I had a dating profile. Or if I was being set up with someone, hey, make sure they know that I'm divorced with 2 kids, you know? Like that's something people may not want to say right away because it's like, oh, maybe if they like me first and then they find out I come with a 14-year-old and a 17-year-old, they'll be fine. And an ex-husband. Yeah, and I'm pregnant. I'm not really. Yeah. But at what point do you say this? I feel like I was watching an old, obviously it's old because it's Sex and the City, but there was an episode that looped recently because I just kind of have it up on Netflix and I just have it going in the background where one of them is pregnant, the redhead. Why can't I think of her name right now? But the character, did you watch Sex and the City?
No.
What?
Samantha, Charlotte.
Miranda. Shout out Shannon who just yelled Miranda from back. Yes, Miranda is pregnant and she's going out with somebody. And she's like, at what point do I tell him that I'm pregnant with somebody else's baby, obviously? So back to the email. I think we can all be in circumstances where we need to know at what point in this relationship do I share X, Y, Z? And it may be a little different, but in this case, this is breast cancer. While I would love not to use the apps, I'm sure I will. Which, side note, Kat and I would say use the apps. Kat
found
married
my husband on
her
the
husband. Shout out
Hinge. Let's go.
And I had a great time on Hinge too. That's not how I met my current boyfriend, but he was on Hinge.
Yeah.
So we both would have found each other on there for sure, but we had a mutual friend.
Let's be clear. I didn't have a great time on Hinge. I did find my husband on Hinge, but there were some dark times and some light times. A mixed bag.
I know. I was sort of being a little
facetious.
Good word. I like it. Okay, back to the email. While I would love to not use the apps, I'm sure that I will. Would I put this in my profile? Announce it on a first date? Tell a guy once we have exchanged numbers? I've always believed in being very open, honest, and upfront with anyone I've dated. But this is a new twist that I never thought I'd have to navigate. I would love to hear your guidance, suggestions, and feelings. She put that in all caps on this subject. You two inspire me and give me hope that perhaps the dating apps aren't all trash.
Aww.
Thanks and hugs to you both. From Maryland.
I was like, wait, what are you doing?
Okay. P.S. Know anyone hiring? This job search is draining me. So who knows? Maybe one of our listeners might be hiring.
Yeah.
I don't know her skill set. I don't know skill set, but she seems considerate because she wants to know at what point she should share this information on a date.
So I don't have a blanket answer.
Right. Nor should you, because everything, there's nuance.
There's so many ways to handle this. The first thing that I thought when I heard this is, what scares you or what would keep you from putting this on your profile? What would keep you from sharing this? Because this is a huge part of your life. Yes, Amy?
I'm raising my hand. I would think that potentially it's like, hey, this is just me guessing, having walked through cancer with my mom and my dad, that somehow now you are broken, or there's this fear of that something is wrong, or that maybe you are, like if someone were to open up and get vulnerable and fall in love with you, there's this fear of like, oh, whoa, you have this. And I don't want to go through that pain of having to, lose you potentially because of this quote unquote brokenness, which you're not broken. I'm guessing what you might be feeling. The fear around sharing that right away, as someone might see you as either a burden or a fear within themselves that they won't have you for as long as they want you.
Yeah. Okay. So that could be one thing that kept you from doing that. I also would add in there, and again, there's so much nuance in this. So I don't want anybody to listen to this and think that this is what I should do or this is what I shouldn't do. I'm a big fan of allowing people to have the opportunities to support you. And sometimes when we hide certain things about us, we are stealing that opportunity from the people that like would want to be there for us. And so that I would just be mindful of that, of am I keeping myself from having an opportunity for somebody to support me and to love all the parts of me. And I also can see that you might not want to, you might want to feel just like you're a normal person dating. And so I can get why you would want to go on a date and not share that. I'm not a fan of people trauma dumping on first dates or even like the pre-first date. And so
define trauma dumping.
So intimacy is built through time, not just information. So a lot of times when we're talking on a first date, I've been on plenty of first dates where somebody tells me literally from the moment they're born to where they are right now, how they got there. Mm-hmm. And by the time they're done talking, I'm exhausted and I'm like, I didn't even ask you any questions. And so that's one way for people to feel close to people is I'm going to give you this information. But we have to build trust in a relationship and health in a relationship. You need time in there. So trauma dumping is a way for us to trauma bond where we feel really connected, but really we're just like, oh, we share these traumatic stories with each other. So we kind of manufacture intimacy, and then you end up either staying with these people or feeling like you know these people better than you really do. So me just knowing stuff about you doesn't mean I really know you.
Right.
So I don't, again, not a right or wrong answer. I think it more as, well, how do you want to show up on the date? Like, are you going to want to be able to tell stories about some of the things that have been happening recently? Do you want to feel free in that? Do you want, if you are currently going through, which I couldn't tell, I couldn't tell.
I mean, I think she's potentially wrapping up treatment as a vibe that I got. And I love that she put in the email. I love that attitude of,
I'm going to live for a very long time.
Be around for a very long time. Mm-hmm. I love that.
So I think either way, your dating profile, I don't think you should or shouldn't. Maybe try it out both ways.
Yeah, I don't know that. No, if I were a man, I don't think I would be turned off by the fact that someone
And
is facing that in their life.
People could, though. I think that's the other part. This is okay.
But people could be, it could be breast cancer. It could be your divorce.
Anything. It could be your brown
your
hair.
Kids. It
could be anything.
That, you can't see. Like Kat's legally blind, kind of.
I am. And my partner's legally blind too.
Oh, gosh. Well, it's like the blind leading the blind. We didn't know that. Yeah. Y'all bonded over that. At what date?
I think that we were living together and I'm like, we have the same contacts. What was I going to say? I just got thrown off. I think okay. Mm-hmm. So
you figured it out yourself.
No matter what you show up with, there are going to be people that don't like you and there are going to be people that do like you. There are going to be people that are like, oh, that's not for me. And there are people that are going to be like, oh, I want to know more about this part of your story. And that is for literally anything. And so if we are creating a dating profile where our and I'm sure there are plenty of dating coaches that would disagree with me. What I believe is if we're creating a dating profile and our goal is to like make people attracted to a version that we want them to see, we're going to end up putting ourselves in a bad situation that we're probably going to be in an unhealthy relationship, or I feel like I can't really be myself. But if we're really putting all like who we are out there, we just have to know there are going to be more people that don't like this than people that do like this. That's the same for everybody. More people are going to not be a fit for you than they're going to be a fit for you. And I think personally, as I was dating, once I realized that, it kind of took the pressure off of me and also boosted my confidence where I could be like, well, this isn't about there's something wrong with me. We aren't compatible. So.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's in dating or friendships, or if you don't get that job that you want, you'd be like, oh, maybe this has nothing to do with me. It's just not a good fit, not compatible at this time.
Mm-hmm. So you can kind of filter some of that information through the things that are going on with you and how you're approaching dating, and ask yourself those questions. Like, am I worried about people not seeing me this way that I want them to see me?
I'm over here thinking about how on one of my Hinge dates, I definitely, what'd you call it? Trauma dumped?
Yeah. Did you do that?
I trauma dumped on date one.
Is that who
I
you're
overshared. No.
Well, okay.
No, because, we maybe both, I knew where he was coming from because we had a mutual friend.
Okay.
Like we had experienced similar traumas. So I think we talked about that on date one because we already knew. And it was sort of like the elephant in the room.
Okay.
But I'm talking about a Hinge date where I knew nothing about this person and I just kind of unloaded. But I think that was my social awkwardness, or how I was trying to feel like I wasn't leaving space for just pause. I was like, okay, it's uncomfortable, so speak. And I think that sometimes it's okay to just let there be space.
Yeah, and that actually speaks to, again, no right or wrong. So if you didn't want that to be on your dating profile because you wanted your first date just to be fun, I'm a huge fan of first dates just being kind of surface level, like fun. Sometimes you're led naturally to more deeper topics, and that's not good or bad. I'm a fan of keeping it light.
No, I overshared. It was bad. I'm going to go ahead and say it because it was my situation. We'll call it bad. Okay. Like it was bad. Like I was like, why did I just say all of that? Now I ended up dating him a lot. It's the, it's the,
it's the guy. It's the one guy.
It's the guy before the boyfriend. And he was great.
Yeah.
But I remember driving away because I took my own car and driving home and I'd be like, why did I say all of that? So stupid. What's wrong with me? I know we all have encounters. Maybe you're meeting someone at a party. It's not even a date, but you just overshare and you just say all this stuff. And you're like, why did I just do that? I don't even know that person. And I don't even know if they deserve to know all of that about me yet. Because what if you were to go say X, Y, Z? Like, why am I trusting this person from the internet just because he has like nice guy vibes and he's got kids? So he's a nice dad, which he may be an awful human that could have shared all my secrets because I laid it all out there. Which, didn't you go on a date one time with some guy who really went deep and was like talking about, I think it was date one. He was talking about how he wanted to hurt himself or something.
Yes.
Which could be like a cry for help, but that just seemed like heavy. That was not fun.
That was not fun.
That's like the opposite of fun.
And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with him. That just wasn't the vibe I was looking for. I also think because I changed my job speaking to like, there's no right or wrong. I changed my job from, I did have therapist on there to like business owner because I was tired of people. I think because I am a therapist, it's easier for people to open up. And I think some people like that. So they were attracted to my job. And so I took that off there and just said business owner. And Patrick, my husband, didn't know what I did until I think like halfway through our date. He didn't know anything about the podcast. He didn't know anything about my therapy job, nothing. And so that was very, I think, helpful. So if she wants to have just a fun, light date, then I think it's fair that like, oh, this is part of my story. I'm going to wait. If that's the reason, that is so healthy and so fine. If the reason is people won't love me or people won't choose to stay with me, I think we kind of want to weed those people out.
Yeah. Then you should just go ahead and get out there because then you create this false expectation of what.
And like there's nothing wrong with you. Like
no, not at all.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful part of your story that somebody is going to be the perfect fit for.
And supportive.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Well, there you
we're
go.
gonna
couch
work on your
talks.
trauma dumping.
We're trying to, keep the couch talks tight. And I even set a timer, which we have 23 seconds.
Okay. We've never been good at a timer and
ever.
Look at us.
I know.
Should we sign off before the buzzer goes off?
Well, I sort of paused it so it wouldn't go off, but I'll go ahead and press play and see how long it takes us to like see if we can sign off in a timely manner. So we want to hear from you. Hey there at feelingthingspodcast.com. Also subscribe, follow the podcast, write a review. If somehow you stumbled upon this episode, go back and listen to our episode from on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. That was our very first Feeling Things episode. This is formerly Four Things with Amy Brown, by the way. I'm Amy.
Oh, that was so close.
And that's Kat.
And
Feeling Things podcast on Instagram, which I meant to say this on Tuesday and I forgot, but we do have a giveaway over there that we're going to do in the stories. We haven't put it up yet because we're letting like the followers build, but we will be sharing a giveaway of the snail serum that we're obsessed with. The stuff is great. And we're going to do year's supply. So you're supposed to do the snail. It's a 10-pack treatment and you're supposed to do it quarterly. So like every 3 months. So you would get a box for each quarter of the year. So we're giving away a year's supply, which is very kind and generous of BioPel and their snail serum growth factor. And that's just a fun little thing we're going to be doing in the stories on Feeling Things podcast. So make sure you're following us on Instagram as well. And I'm at Radio Amy on Instagram and
at Kat Van Buren. I'm going to say my old last name.
She's married now.
I'm married.
She was Defada, but she met her man on Hinge. Mm-hmm. So your man is out there too. And I can't wait to hear about how your dating goes. And that's another thing with Couch Talks. Y'all can send us updates if you want. We would like to hear. And then also what kind of job you're looking for moving to Tennessee.
We hope you have the day you need to have.
Bye.
We need to work on that part. Yeah.